Hi, it's Jen Miller, your disciplinary literacy specialist. I'm here today to show you a couple of cool things that are in Newsela related to supporting your students in reading and writing in both science and social studies. First of all, when you go into Newsela, you should be able to see what subscriptions you are looking at automatically. Mine are currently set for science and social studies for middle school. If yours are not the subjects that you need, you can change that in your settings or reach out to me for help about your settings. When I come into Newsela, because I'm set for science and social studies specifically, the content that I have advertised to me on the front page is going to be related to science and social studies, especially the latest news. I do want to point out that Formative and Newsela Writing are all the same company. I'm excited about Newsela Writing, and I'll be telling you a lot more about that in the spring, especially related to its AI feedback for writing. But Formative is linked to Newsela here because they are the same company. I'm going to stick to Newsela for what I'm showing you today, however. In the content library, I can choose to either explore my content by news or Spanish articles and resources that are in Spanish, articles and texts, videos, text sets, standards, and worksheets. There might be something under here that I can't quite see. Let's see. Nope, there's not. Or I can specifically go into social studies or science. I'm going to go into social studies first and show you that on the left-hand side, you have quite a few things that you could choose to use for students, either for your whole class or for specific students who are ready for more, or for students who are perhaps struggling. So if you want to differentiate, there's some really good resources here as well. There are some 2024 election resources that you can go through. These could be sets and units or individual articles and assignments with them. There are entire social studies courses, as well as materials that are linked specifically to TCI. So if you are using TCI a lot, but you want to supplement with something else, there are some things in Newsela that are specifically designed to support TCI materials. There are supplemental social studies collections, media literacy and digital citizenship, for example. There are inquiry design model resources. So if you are interested, based on looking at the shifts in our standards towards more inquiry, if you're interested more in diving into units that are specifically designed around inquiry, there are some provided to you here with texts already in them. The curriculum complements collections are where you'll find the TCI information that I was referencing. Voices of the West, social studies is a whole set of collections of states to our west, which I think is very cool because I lived in Washington State. There is an entire collection of primary sources. So if the only thing you want to use Newsela for is to pull primary sources to support what you're doing out of TCI or other materials, there are lots of them here. And let's just show an example because I think this may be how it gets used quite a bit. If it will load for me. All right, let's say I want to look at the Mayflower Compact, and I want students to grow in their disciplinary literacy related to reading and writing as it relates to this specific primary source. I'm going to get a lot of information about the text and a lot of things that I can do with the text. I'm also going to see that there is a main idea given to me, key terms, a before reading activity, and discussion questions. So there's enough in Newsela if you were to choose a primary source to do an entire lesson on that primary source, or to have students walk through that potentially on their own if you're using it as something that students are doing in small groups, or students who are ready for more. You can add instructions and change the assignment. You can add your own annotations, and students can add annotations, including color-coded annotations, which with some of you I'm working on physically doing with texts as well. You can add checks for understanding, and you can also get printable versions of these texts. So this is kind of what it looks like. The checks for understanding, if you choose to enable those, will be throughout the document. You can also view things as a student, so you can see what they would see. All right, quickly I'm going to go switch over to science. There is more for social studies, but I want science to get to see that as well. Science is structured similarly. You're going to have specific lessons and projects on for example, science claim evidence reasoning activities or virtual field trips. You're also going to see current science news articles. You can search those by topic if you would like, or you can look at supplementary videos. There are whole courses of articles and tools and videos. Middle school life science is one, physical science is another, earth and space science is another. There are high school courses here as well. Science text sets by teachers here, which were helpful when studying a specific subject within science. There is an environmental literacy section, SEL connections, and K2 science. That is an adorable dog. I have a golden retriever. I like dogs a lot. The same thing is true within science that I was showing you in social studies. The same features and applications you can use with the texts related to disciplinary literacy. So let's say I want to read about metal giving the teeth of Komodo dragons their super strength. I can do the same thing with this text that I was doing with the primary source on the other page. I'm going to get a lot of information about leveling the text. I do want to recommend that as much as possible we keep our text at grade level, but that would mean also taking a look at your students' MAP scores, seeing in general where different groups are, and then taking a look at what might be challenging to students within the text if it is given to them at that grade level, so that you can scaffold supports to them to help them understand it. All of these texts you can listen to if you would like to, and students can do that as well. There's presentation views if you want to walk through it with them. Same thing, main idea, key terms before reading activity and discussion questions, along with annotations and checks for understanding if you want. For all of your articles, you can include additional questions or assignments, writing that you want them to do in response to their reading. In Newsela, you'll also have saved content that you can mark for yourself, assignments created by you, and reports about classroom data and power words coming from the content that you're assigning. The reason that I wanted you to see both of these features is because Newsela is such a strong supportive tool for disciplinary literacy, for providing strong reading content, and providing a structure in which students get some of those supports for pre-reading activities, vocabulary, metacognition as they're annotating or looking at your annotations, and then responding in writing at the end. Because Newsela is owned by the same company as Formative, your assignments will sync over, and I'm excited to show you a lot more about Newsela writing and its coming AI features as we move forward. Please reach out if you have any questions, and have a great day.